an election coming up. 2 weeks.
That's right.
Um, I'm nervous, but we all need to get out there and vote, please, please. And in Boston, Massachusetts, we have some ballot questions. We have ballot questions 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And so I'm gonna tell you what they are, and it's up to you to decide if you want. Probably go on the website and get more information. So, question 1, auditing the legislator. The basics. A yes vote would allow the state auditor to audit the accounts, programs, activities, and functions of the state legislator. So isn't that what the auditor is supposed to do?
Yeah, they corrected.
They search, don't they audit the accounts of the activities and the functions of the state legislation? Is that their job?
I'm assuming it is, but are they supposed to audit the elected officials? Aren't they auditing other things,
Maybe,
other departments?
maybe.
That's
Yeah,
why
I'm sure they
that's
are.
why that question is on there.
So it's the state legislator that and they definitely need to be audited, don't you think? Question 2 is eliminating MCAS as a graduation requirement. A yes vote would remove passing the MCAS as a requirement to graduate high school. Students will take the MCAS exams. Oh, they will still, so the students will still take the MCAS, but it won't be a requirement. So a yes vote would remove passing the MCAS as a requirement, because that has held a lot of people back. I mean, you go to school 12 years and then one test determines if you graduate or not. That makes sense, Wes?
No, it don't make sense to me. It's like most kids don't pass it because we don't have enough money or resources to actually do our best on that test.
Really?
A lot of us show skills in like hands-on, or we have like arts and music, but like MCAS testing isn't really best for us.
Wow. So, we have question 3. I don't even think is this working? Is this right?
Yeah, they're coming in.
Okay. So question 3, unionizing ride-share drivers. A yes vote would allow ride-share drivers to unionize and would authorize the state to oversee negotiations. So now Uber and Lyft have become actually jobs that they're independent contractors, but they are but now there's enough of them that they can unionize, and so that took well, I think Uber came about because cab drivers weren't stopping in, and we couldn't get cabs, and so we have Uber and Lyft. I'm quite sure there'll probably be another one coming up soon, right? But and then there's a lot of these different driving services that had came up, like DoorDash and
Lyft,
yeah.
Uber. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's a lot of them now.
Yeah, and so, but that has created jobs for a lot of people, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I have some family members that do Uber, and it's paying a lot of money right now.
Good, good, good.
In comparison to before, yeah, they're getting paid 20 plus. Some even getting paid more than that, taking home hundreds of dollars.
That's good for a side hustle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so we have question 4, legalizing psychedelics. A yes vote will allow audits over 21 to use, adults, I'm sorry. A yes vote would allow adults over 21 to use, grow, and possess psychedelics, create an oversight board, and tax sales. I don't really know that much about that question, but that's question 4. Question 5, minimum wage for tip workers. A yes vote would gradually increase the wage of tip employees until it meets the state minimum wage and continues to permit tipping in addition. So that means that I think that so what this is saying is that the wages would increase, and also on top of and they will be and the employees will be able to keep their tips, I believe. So
Yeah, that one's a little mixy because like some businesses can actually afford to pay their workers more, and some small businesses just starting, they can't afford to pay them anymore. So they might have to let some people go as people are getting more money. So it's like it helps some, but it's also going to take away from others.
right, so it's a yes and a no maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Wes, you've been doing some work with United for Justice, right? So tell us what you've been doing with them.
With NU for J, recently I've been door knocking, going door to door. I've been around the Dorchester area lately, and it's definitely been very interesting.
So you all are door knocking because of the hospital situation?
That's right. We're talking about how in Massachusetts a lot of privatized hospitals has recently closed, which has impacted a lot of communities now that people need to go to a different hospital, which is outside of their neighborhood, to get emergency or basic care.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that are happening that doesn't really make any sense. We're gonna when we solidify the place, we're looking at having a community meeting on November 23rd. All the logistics aren't done yet, but
We definitely need to figure out how to get
Yeah.
back a hospital.
yeah, I can't answer that.
Let me take it.
Yeah.
All right.
And so the hospitals, they're closing our hospitals, they're closing our Walgreens. We don't get mail on time from the postal service. There's a lot of things that are going on. Mass and cast is still an issue. Now it's moving up to Nubian Square. I'm a member. Marcus Anthony Hall is a member of the Nubian Square Task Force, and we're trying to get community out to get involved. We need our community. We need our community to come out to say something. We need our community to go out and vote. We always talk about our vote don't count, and sometimes I can kind of understand why you say that, because the elected, especially with the presidential election, because the electoral college is the one that makes the decision, not the popular vote. So I can understand that, but all politics is local, and so you have to be on your city councilors and your state reps and your state senators. Those are the people that you can go and go into their office, knock on their door, attend hearings and meetings with them in person. A lot of times, when we have to advocate for our own selves, because half our elected officials aren't advocating for us, and that's not a good thing. So we, the people, have to make changes, because we are the people and we have the power. And before, I believe my guest is about to arrive, and before we get into our conversation, I would like to say good morning to my engineer, Pastor Bruce Wall. It's always a pleasure when he finds the time to engineer for me. He just don't know how I love seeing his smiling face. He's my pastor. I appreciate him. He's coming up with a birthday too, on Saturday, right, Pastor? Sunday. Okay. Sunday is Pastor Bruce Wall's birthday, and he will be
82.
No, you're not. Not yet. You're getting there though, but not yet. So it's always a blessing, because as we get older, things happen, and we're just thankful and grateful to be here. I know I am, clothed in my right mind.
When you get older, your hands start to tremble.
Uh-huh.
The chair, could you push that back over?
Yeah.
You gonna stay with us, Wes?
And if so, you need a mic because we can't hear him on your broadcast when he sits over there.
Okay. So why didn't you tell me that before?
Didn't want to interrupt your flow.
All right.
But you have to keep talking because there's no dead air.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so we're a little bit under the weather today, or just not with it this morning. I kind of thrown off a little bit, but we will get. So as I was saying, I know I was saying something about us voting.
You're encouraging people to vote.
Yes, we need every voice. Every voice counts. Every vote count also. And so we are very. This election is gonna determine a lot of things, and we have elections on a local level. We have state representatives, state senators that are running for office, and but a lot of them are uncontested, and that's an issue. I think you need some competition. What do you think about that, Wes?
We definitely need some competition. Some of our counselors and state reps have been in power for going on 10 years, some of them even 20. So we definitely need some change in our neighborhoods because a lot of their decisions aren't really backed by our voice.
Yes, and also we definitely need community input. There's a lot of neighborhood associations, and I like to say that these neighborhood associations have some power.
That's right.
Because they're formed from their community. They know what's going on in the community, and they should have a voice. And so a lot of them do have voices, and we need to. And that's where the wards come in. They work in the neighborhood associations, and then the ward committees, and if we could just formulate some type of pack, like the United Communities,
That's right.
so that we're all on the same page. Because I believe that we're all suffering from the same issues and concerns.
That's right.
And so, my niece Dominga Martin, and look at her, she comes in here filming. She is an award producer, and she is actually helping me to put my book, I Look Back and Wonder How I Got Over, into a movie. I mean, for real.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, Dominga. What do you want us to call you, Dominga or Tony? Well, I'm going to call you Tony Bach because you're my niece. So.
Yeah, call me Tony.
So her
That
name,
is what I want everyone to call me, is Tony.
okay, so this is Tony, and she is an award-winning producer and
Wow.
and films
Director.
director, and I just like for her to tell you a little bit about her story. She is amazing. For you all that don't know, there is a song called "Wake Up," and it's by Russell Taylor, and Dominga is the one that produced this in Nubian Station. So talk a little bit about that, because it was during COVID. It was very, very different. So.
Yeah, so give me a chance to
I
get
know,
settled.
I
I just hopped in here. Thank God I have some experience in this. So Wake Up was a music video that I directed and produced for Russell Taylor to get out the vote.
Okay.
It was in partnership with the Massachusetts Poor People's Campaign. So, ironically, we did this during the pandemic. We took a risk, and it was 2 days before the world shut down.
Wow.
So the last 2 days in July that summer, and we went for it. We shut down Nubian Square. I still call it Down Dudley. That's where I was born and raised. Shut it down. Rerouted the MBTA. I worked in collaboration with the City of Boston, BPD, and the MBTA to get the street locked down for a few hours so that we can film in the middle of the street of Washington Street with no cars or no buses. Sat a sofa. I envision a sofa in the middle of the street. Through the sofa over the gate so that we can get a nice little prairie feel with the jazz trio that I wanted, all female, who were blindfolded. There's a lot of subliminal messages in the music video.
You had a choir that you said they were deaf?
Yeah, so that was my first time working with an ASL choir. And that was a profound experience because they couldn't hear the music.
Right.
And so we had to figure out, well, how can I get them to dance on beat? They had 2 interpreters on set with them. And I said, well, what's universal for all of us that we can understand this is how you get on beat? And I thought heartbeat. So I had them feel their heartbeat. And that's how I got them to move to the beat of the song.
Wow.
But they learned how to say, wake up, wake up, wake up is how you say it. But one of my, what I love about the video is the Say Her Name gown,
Yes,
which was
yes,
custom made
yes.
for the video. I hired.
Say her name. Let's say her name.
So it was a gown that I envisioned with a tail, and I wanted 3 images on the back. So it was Sandra Bland, Breonna Taylor, and Martin Luther King's mom, who was also assassinated. And I hired Joelle Fontaine from I Am Creole to design the gown. They had about a week, and 2 visual artists to draw the pictures. And it came out exactly
Like
as
you
I envisioned it, yeah. So this was my first time working with Boston artists, and I found some really, really amazing Black artists who were gifted and talented to collaborate with on that vision for Wake Up.
Shout out to Boston.
Yeah.
Yes. Tony, talk about your production, Ming House, your studio, and you just was in the Roxbury. I was going to say Hall of Fame, but
Pretty soon, I'm in the Roxbury Hall of Fame, in case you didn't know.
the Roxbury Film Festival, right? You just had a movie, so she has a program called After School Art Program, and what she does is she teaches young folks how to produce, write, direct, and act. And these youth are from the age of 14 to 18 or
Yes,
and older.
14 to 18.
And her film that she did called Static was in the Roxbury Film Festival. And yours truly was an extra.
Yes, you were.
I was an extra, but also some of my one of my board members was an extra. One of my youth students was an extra. Our cousin, and so it was nice. And so I don't know where it's at. Is it on YouTube, Tony?
We haven't put it on YouTube yet.
Oh, okay.
But we
okay.
have some invites for screenings that we'll do around town. But backing up, House of Ming was how I began in film production, directing music videos and such. That was my boutique film company out of Brooklyn, where I directed music videos.
Hold on, Carlo. Right with you. Go ahead.
Okay, where I directed music videos for Grammy-nominated artists, The Flow Assist featuring Music Soul Child, Mesa Leak from Incognito. When I got home here, because I was born and raised in Roxbury, in around 2017. I would always come home for the holidays. I was over House of Ming. I think we all get a chance to evolve. And I evolved into D.A. Martin Productions. And so that's what I'm under now, D.A. Martin, which is my first initial, middle initial, last name, Martin Productions. And so during the pandemic, after I directed Wake Up, as a director, you're on your feet at least 16 hours a day.
I couldn't believe that when you told us that. That's amazing.
Yes. And I
Hold
stayed
on, I
up for
think we
48
have-
hours. I stayed up for 48 hours straight. And that's not the first time directing a film that I stayed up for days to get
Wow.
it done because you just have so much adrenaline.
Hold on. I think Sarah's on the line.
Oh, hi, Aunt Sarah.
Sarah, you have to turn whatever you're listening to down.
Hello?
Hello, whatever you're listening to, you have to turn it down because we can't hear you. We can't hear you because you have to turn whatever it is you're listening to down.
Oh, okay.
She's listening to the TV.
So let me finish. So
Yeah,
during
finish. Go
during
ahead.
the pandemic, when I was isolated, I thought about how did I get here? And I became a director and a writer because I was part of the Boston Youth Outreach programs growing up. And I remember an author came in and she wanted us to write a story, a poem about what it was like growing up in Roxbury,
Shut it
Dorchester,
off.
and Jamaica Plain. And I remember raising my hand saying, I don't know how to write. And she said, well, just try. And so that came to me when I couldn't work, when no one could work, but most importantly, our youth were out of school, isolated and not being able to connect. So I just remember pacing in the bathroom ASAP after school. I was trying to come up with all these for the acronym. And so it came up ASAP, the After School Arts Program. And I would give back to youth in the community the way the community sewed into me and teach aspiring young filmmakers how to make movies, how to act, what is set protocol, film production 101. And so we're heading into our 5th year.
Yeah.
But this year,
We're going into our 5th year too.
Amazing, right?
Yeah.
so, and that tells you how much time we lost during the pandemic.
Yeah.
But these young people are so brilliant that their first short film, Static, it was youth led. Our director and writer was 16 years old. And it won Best Youth Film at the Roxbury International Film Festival.
Hello?
Yes. Good morning, Carla. You're on the air.
Good morning. It's Sarah. Hello, family. How are you?
Good morning.
We're good. How are you?
Hi, Tony.
Hi.
Okay, I'm finally getting in here. I was all messed up. I'm not used to this. I wanted to talk a little bit about what Priscilla you were saying earlier about the election.
Go ahead.
Did you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hello?
Yeah, we're listening to you, Sarah. You're not saying anything.
Okay, because I didn't hear no response. Okay, I'm talking. My thing is, seriously, people need to get out to vote. I'm doing the voter registration right now in my building. And what
Where's
I'm
your
doing,
building?
I got access. Oh, I'm sorry. Castle Towers, 2875 Washington Street. It's the elderly complex. It has 144 units. So I'm been down in the lobby every day trying to get voters registered, and we need transportation. So I'm trying to get. I got the van, but I need funds for the a driver and the gas, and plus the main thing I want to say about how sorry this election is. Not only federal, but state and local. You don't see any signs. It's like totally disrespectful. I've seen one small Kamala Harris sign over on what is it? Not Highland, over the off of Washington Street. And that's one small sign. And I heard somebody saying that because we're a Democratic state, we don't have to advertise. That's crazy.
Well, that doesn't make any sense.
These elected officials need to wake up and smell the coffee. And I'm really going to do everything I can to make them realize, they work for us. We don't work for them.
That's right.
That's right.
You know,
That's
it's
right.
sorry.
Well, I was talking a little
and
bit.
it's just disrespectful to our community.
It is. I was just talking about the meeting we're having on November the 23rd. We don't have
Meeting when?
We're having a community meeting on the 23rd. We're inviting the elected officials, and we're gonna have a
Where
conversation.
at? What time?
We don't have all the details. We just have the date, November 23rd.
Okay, so would you please text me?
I will let you know. I will let
Okay.
you know. We're gonna
I'm
let
on my way to
everybody know.
doctor's- I'm on my way to a doctor's appointment. I'll talk to you later. Thank you.
Yeah. Bye bye.
Okay, bye. Be safe.
You too. So yes, I didn't want to talk a lot about it because I don't have a flyer yet, but we are definitely having a meeting on November 23rd to talk about some things that are going on in our community that we're just sick and tired of.
Right.
Raising taxes, deed restriction, mail not being delivered. Just it's a lot of stuff we're gonna talk about, and we want our elected officials to come because I'm telling you, a change is gonna come.
It has to.
Yes, yes. So we got some folks. Good morning, Cleon. How you doing? Hey, Mac. So go ahead. Finish, Tony Bop.
Well, this is
So-
why
so-
Wake Up
so-
is so relevant, right?
Yeah. So if
Because
you all have
every-
not listened to that video, it's "Wake Up" by Russell Taylor. It's beautiful.
I'll share it.
Now-
Not right this second.
Oh, okay.
But I will share it on social media so people can see.
Yes, that would be so nice. Or they could just
An
go to
important
YouTube.
election. I
Yes.
hope that people will get out and vote. I know that sometimes artists don't want to talk politics,
But everybody need to be talking politics this year.
yes, and
Everybody.
we cannot afford to sit back and not vote in this election. One of the things that I've been thinking about is how people say, well, you know, my life hasn't changed under the last several presidents. My life is the same. But I just want to ask them, but did all the other presidents, were we in a pandemic?
And
Did we lose?
Did we have presidents that acted like Mr. Trump? You
Right.
know?
Did we have an insurrection?
Yeah.
You know, what presidential, who was the president then? Right. So, and I'd like also for people to get away from saying that black men are not voting for Kamala. You know, I think these are all distracting things, and we cannot afford to not vote in
We
this
can't.
election.
That's right. If you're 18, you still have to this Saturday to vote, to register to vote, and you'll be able to vote in the election. This is critical, you know. Even look at our local elected officials. None of them are uncontested, so you don't even really see them out. You know, this is a state election for state legislators and state senators, and they are not. I don't see them anywhere. You know, so we got changes. We have to make the changes. We have to be the change makers that we want to be. And so, again, united communities. You're going to be hearing more about the united communities because we're all going through something. We're all going through basically the same thing. It's them against us. That's basically what it is. And we have to wake up, speak up, stand up. You know, wake up, wake up, wake up.
Wake up, wake up, wake up.
Do we have
That's
a
the theme
united
for
community
today.
right
Wake
now?
up.
Pardon?
Do we have a united community right now?
Yeah, the meeting that you're on every Thursday.
That's our PACs for all of the neighborhood associations.
We're trying to bring a collaborate amount of people together called the United Communities. And we have started working on it. It's a PAC. It's a political action committee.
Oh, okay.
And so I was hoping maybe Larry might call him to talk more about it. No, would you laugh at that? Because I said, hope Larry may call it. But this is it. This, for me, this is, I think, like,
We need to get it
If
off
we
the
don't-
ground, yeah.
if
'cause
we don't do
definitely,
something, yeah, if we don't get something going, I don't even want to talk about it. But yeah, time is running out. So I want you to talk about your other little project that you do
What's my other little project?
on Saturdays with the seniors.
yes. So yeah, so I'm enjoying giving back to the community because we don't have a lot of access in Boston.
Yeah.
So one of the things with my youth is I bring in Hollywood professionals, like producer Monty Ross, Oscar-winning producer who produced Spike Lee's first 7 films, and he critiqued my young people's screenplay, actors, writers that they can relate to. And so giving back to the older adults in the community in collaboration with Age Strong has been a gift. They're telling their stories every Saturday. Are we going on our 8th week?
No, Tony Bob.
It's our 7th week.
6.
Oh, it's 6?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, time is flying.
So what made you want to get into film?
What made
Like,
me
was
want
you an
to-
actor first, or was you behind the camera first? Like, where'd you start?
People always try to get me to act. No. I started writing poetry. And so my first poem was published at the age of 16.
16.
In that anthology that I was telling you about, growing up in Roxbury, Dorchester, Mattapan, Jamaica Plain. And I wrote my first poem. And so after years and years of writing poetry, I wanted to tell a deeper story. And that story I ended up writing was a screenplay without me realizing it. And from there, by that time I'm in college, I live in Atlanta. I met a bunch of other filmmakers. I worked on my first film set. And I decided, you know what, I want to be a director. After watching what the director does and sitting in Video Village and watching the film happen, I found my tribe.
So you learned from really being on the ground and like networking, like getting out there, like flying to different like locations, cities, states, and like actually like.
Yeah, so I came up traditionally in the filmmaking industry as a PA, a production assistant, which is the lowest job on the totem pole. You have to wait last to eat.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
it's called Watch the Line. So everyone above the line, who's the directors, the producers, cinematographers, they get to eat first, and then you have the other crew members, and you wait until everyone else eats, and then the PAs can eat.
That's
And if
deep.
you're an extra, you're not even getting that food. You may be getting some pizza. So if there's no more pizza, sometimes the extras just don't get to eat that day. And film production sets, when I was coming up, you're there at least 12 hours a day. And I promised myself that when I direct, I wasn't going to do that. You know, everyone gets to eat. It's important. It makes you feel awful to have to wait if you're hungry while everyone else, you know, gets a beautiful plate of food. I just didn't understand that part of filmmaking production, and why there was such an hierarchy in that way. So I came up traditionally. By the time I got to New York, I was offered an opportunity to work on a Quincy Jones film. We would get a stipend per day because we would be out of state and staying in a hotel. Or I had another opportunity to assist director Nzinga Stewart. And a lot of people know who Nzinga is. And I chose to stay in New York and assist Nzinga. And that week when I was supposed to be going away to work with on Quincy Jones' film as a wardrobe assistant, because I did every single job: editor's assistant, PA, wardrobe,
That's
props.
how you learn, though. That's how you learn. You learn going through the.
Going through the ranks. I
Yeah.
learned. I worked around the entire set, the director's department, so that I can know how a set runs until I felt confident to be a director. But anyhow, that first week in New York, I met every single person I needed to meet. That is practically, we stand on their shoulders in the culture.
Wow.
So
That's
had I left New York and went on that film, maybe I wouldn't be sitting here doing this today, because it was an amazing week in New York.
Wow.
I mean, everybody who's anybody was at this one party. I was, wait a minute, wait, who's? Yeah.
Yes, yes. Well, Tony is remarkable. She is. I don't want to put your business out there, but I want people to know, because this is October,
Uh-huh.
that you are a breast cancer survivor.
Yes, I am.
Yes,
I am.
and I just, you give so much, and I love you so much, and I'm just happy that you're my niece,
Mhm.
and we're gonna do some great things together. I already know, and your mom with the Poor People's Campaign. Yes, we actually we did with we took some of our youth to the Poor People's Campaign at the State House when we first did the rally,
Mhm.
and some had never even been in the State House before, and so we sat and talked to the president's. I don't know who she was, because she didn't take not one note while we were talking to her, but anyway, and then a couple of them got to go to D.C. for the big rally in June. So I mean, it's just, your mom has always, your mom and I went to school together, as you know, and your mom was always a fighter. We were always fighting. Orchard Park Hellraisers, that's what we were, and it's just to see her evolve. Like her mother took over a building, literally took over a building, because people. Let's talk about that a little bit. They took over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so my mother, Dr. Serena Martin, is a national activist. She's a tri-chair for the National Poor People's Campaign, a recipient of the Martin Luther King Drum Major for Justice Award in '88, the real one. I have to say that, the real one.
Yeah.
And so my friends had this running joke in high school. What does your mother do? Because she was always in the newspaper. Because she was taking over abandoned buildings with her comrades so that people can have a home. She started the Women's Institute for New Growth and Support, which still stands and operates on Valentine Street.
Yeah.
We were one of the first families, actually. My second dad, who came into my life, Derek B., had a barbershop right there on Malcolm X and Designs R Us. So I came up in a family that was no nonsense, because that's my father's side, and also who worked for the city. Fighters, my mother, a national activist, and entrepreneurship was very, very important. And so I always said to my mom, I don't want to be an activist in the sense that I'm out in the street. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I think that times have evolved. And what I love about the Poor People's Campaign is that they're into policy, changing laws. That's what we need to do.
Right.
But for me, my activism was always in my art, which is why I love doing work like Wake Up. My work is socially conscious. Priscilla's film that's getting ready to come out, as bad as it is, has some consciousness to it. So I didn't want to be an activist with the
Bullhorn.
yeah, that's not my thing. I wanted to have my messages in my art. And so with this being October, I am a 16-year survivor.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I did have a scare this year. I didn't say it, I hadn't announced it yet. But, I had an injury. And the doctors told me that it was a tumor that was cancerous. And I had to debate that, because I said, I fell down in that area. I fell down my porch steps, boom, boom, and the stairs cracked me in my back. And that was the injury area that they said had an uptake on the PET scan that was concerning. So anyhow, long story short, I went through radiation 10 days, did not have to do chemo. What was positive then for cancer was negative this time. I was in a very, very gray area. And what I learned was the doctor said there is not one device that can detect cancer in a person's body. What they do see are damaged cells. I said, well, how do you know that I didn't shatter my bone when I fell? Because I'm doing all this research. They're like, stay off of Google. But I did
They want
all
their
this.
check. They want their money.
Yeah, so I did all this research, and inflammation and infection and all of these things can also mimic cancer. And so I said, how do you know that I didn't shatter my bone when I fell? And it's just my body trying to fight back because it was in my bone marrow. And blood cells are malignant because your blood is always regenerating itself. Very profound questions, everyone always says. And then the doctors are taking notes of my questions. So anyhow, they said, well, we cannot tell because your bone eroded. So my whole bone had eroded. So all this year, right now, around this time last year, I couldn't walk. It felt like my leg was falling off the hinges if it were a door. And I had to relearn how to walk, you know? And it was that bone that holds your whole body up. And for me, because I'm into metaphors, I said, here I am always holding up everybody, but my body can't even hold itself up. So I spent this whole year just really in deep I was on medication too, but meditating. I was, meditating, and the doctor said, we never saw anyone heal so fast. So this week, I had my second PET scan in 3 months. 3 months the first time. The spot on the back resolved itself, which meant that it was gone. And then just this past week, it shows my body's healing.
Amen. Amen.
And, by the grace of God, I said, you know what, I don't think it's cancer, because 16 years ago, I would wake up and I'd wring my sheets out. I was sweating so bad. I'd have to change at least 3 times in the night.
Wow.
And that wasn't going on in my body. So all the tumor markers that they saw went down. And just to give you a quick study, what they said was a person who has cancer in their body, those markers can be a number 600 and up. I was 114. Those tumor markers went from 114 all the way to 21, which means that I'm in normal range.
Okay.
And I can go into a lot, but I don't want to get so technical and scientific. But I said all that to say our bodies can heal itself. And, when my iron was a little low, I said, well, do you think I need an iron pill? And the doctor said, no, eat spinach. Because the nutrients in the food will hit your bloodstream quicker than a pill.
Wow. Yeah.
So, I went through all that. So giving back to the seniors in the community with this writing has just filled me up. For everything I give back to the youth, it's like full circle, the seniors give back to me. So I'm enjoying, giving back to the youth, to the older people in the community. I love my city. I say I'm Brooklyn made, Boston raised. And I want to see my city come up. I don't want to see it behind the culture.
That's right.
Boston is a beautiful city. We have so many vibrant artists.
Yes.
But we have to be allowed to use our voice.
That's right.
We cannot continue to run this city with a white gaze.
Yes.
Someone might clutch their pearls. Good. We have to be able to use our own voices, because that is the only way that the culture will shift here.
That's right.
The culture needs to shift here.
That's right.
And I believe that's what I'm here for.
That's right. We the people, we have the
We
power.
have the power.
That's right.
Yes. I am so excited because I get to see my niece every Saturday as my teacher. And it's she's my teacher, and I just love it. And it just so happens that some of my friends go to the class too, that I didn't even know they went to the class until I walked in the class and said, "What are you doing here?" So
You could put me in a movie.
You could ask Priscilla. It's a strong class. It's a strong class. And I'm hoping that we get to do it again, continuously. One of our students read her story in English for the very first time ever. There's been breakthroughs every weekend. And I love it. I'm going to be showing a clip of Static next week at an exclusive location for
Really?
women in film event. Yeah, I'm going to share the link if folks
Okay.
want to buy tickets. It's in collaboration with Boston Arts Academy.
Okay.
So I'm on the
okay.
advisory council there. And my student who directed Static is a BAA student.
Oh,
So we'll
okay.
be on the panel together.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I'm excited about
Yeah,
that.
so I'm excited about that too.
Yes, I have 6 minutes. Oh, that's good. That's good. So, like again, it is election season, people. We do need everybody to go to the polls, please. We
Register and vote. That's right.
we don't. Oh, also today, hopefully, I will be at Torchlight Recovery in Grove Hall doing voter registration and giving out information about the questions, because we need these questions answered, and we need to get more involved. Our people need to get more involved in the political realm. They say, "Oh, I don't know about politics. Politics is politics," but what Makia used to always say this. She said one day they were in a meeting with Mel King, and Mel King asked them, "What is the most important letter in politics?" Do you know what it is? Can you guess what it is?
V?
L.
I.
Oh.
Politics. I. So that means that everybody. Politics affects everybody. You know, whether you like it or not, you're in it. Once you're born, you're in it. You know, and so my pastor's over there, very quiet. What do you have to say?
I'm looking at the screen.
Oh, because it's time for me to go. Almost. No. Oh, okay. Pastor Bruce could have been a politician, but he's a very famous man. I love this man. He's Moses with a radio station. So you realize that this radio station has been here for 14 years,
Wow.
and he didn't go to any school to learn how to do all this.
Really?
He built this with his 2 hands.
Mm.
It came out of the little office, Renee's office back there. Because when my book came out in 2010, this was one of the first stations that interviewed me. And 14 years.
Oh my God.
So time is flying, right, Pastor? That's right. So
Congratulations.
we're gonna probably do something big for the 15th year, right? You know how we have our fundraisers. So we have fundraisers every other month at our church upstairs
Okay.
to raise funds for our radio station, because we're the only black-owned, FCC licensed, church-based radio station in Boston.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and so we are looking for sponsors because we want to shift our broadcasting. We want to be able to come on from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., which is that drive-in time, you know, and have people who are on their way to work or at work that are listening, so we can have conversations. Because remember Touch 106?
Yeah.
All right. So they are no longer doing it. So we have to pick it up, because we realized during that time, a lot of people were, you know, listening to us when we protested. That's how people knew we were down there protesting, because of Touch. And the sad thing about it was that all the politicians were going on that show, but not one could help him keep the radio show, you know. And so that's why we need more people. We need a change is gonna come. We need some young folks. You live in Mattapan, right?
Yep. Mattapan,
So you're in
born and
District
raised.
5, right? You're in
Yep.
District 5, right? So we may run you next year, for real. For real.
You know, that's so funny. When I first got home, so many people were asking me if I wanted to run for office. No. I am not interested in running for office. Let me just make that clear. I'm not interested in running for office, to the point where I don't know how people got my phone number.
Really?
Yeah, someone even said, if you run, I'm not going to run.
Oh, really?
I'm not even thinking about it. I'm not even thinking about it. I love what I do. I love giving back to the community. I just want to see those who are in power in this community really consider the community,
Right.
and not
right.
just themselves.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Because we are the people, and we have the power. Okay, Pastor said I have 2 minutes. So,
Are they doing any events involving volunteering?
yeah, I'm always looking for volunteers.
We're always looking for volunteers.
We
so
need volunteers this Saturday to help us
just
do
text
some
my-
door
just text
knocking.
me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what someone said. You're monitoring.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's on Facebook. Well, ain't nobody saying nothing to me, but but that's okay. Bye Cleo and Matt and Celia. That's okay. I'm gonna start doing this more. I don't know how to like really build up.
No,
my-
it's good when it's
my-
right